Roll for hero.
And even if you were to have like a prompt of 10 different things, right? Like say if you had one prompt of like, oh, like here's 10 different personality traits, here's 10 different superpowers, here's 10 different drawbacks.
I like coming up with random list of powers and then just see what I come up with.
Imagine rolling just those things every single time. It's always going to vary. The possibility of that happening is, again, like a 1 in 10 chance, but it's like, it shows that there's an infinite
There's
possibility.
always something else cool right around the corner that we can come up with, because there's no end to the prompts. There's no end to what we can roll up.
Now we're going to be officially rolling for superpowers. This is usually the make or break.
Roll for hero.
Hey, yo, and hello, everybody, and welcome to another fantastically wondrous episode of Roll for Hero, a segment of our channels in which we let the dice dictate what on God's green earth we are going to be drawing today. It is me, of course, your ever weird and somehow still functioning Uncle E. With me today is my beautifully bald-headed, big-bearded co-host. You know him, you love him, everyone's favorite and beloved Uncle Fishy. And with us today is, of course, Ethan, right over here, because I totally know how to be professional, from, what was it again, City and Crown. Big fan of his content. I actually had the opportunity to read a lot of his a lot of his stuff, and he is one of the, in my opinion, one of the best, artists that I aspired to when I was in my high school days. It's kind of weird to say because I think right now I'm the youngest one. But guys, this is going to be a blast. Thank you all for joining us, and I already see that the chat's already blowing up. This is going to be a fun episode. We're going to go back to basics, and we're just going to have just a good time rolling up a character, designing this characters, and we're all just going to see how we're all going to do it. But other than that, I've been yapping for way too long here. Mr. Fish, tell me, how's life treating you? Ethan, how about you? What's going on here? How we doing?
I tell you, for me, life has been treating me like a dog turd in a lawnmower, but I'm happy to be here. I'm glad to be here. It doesn't matter how I feel. It doesn't matter how my body's working today. I'm still excited to be here, and I'm still excited to get to play around with my buddies and make up some new characters and get the creativity bumping. And it'll be nice to do something other than grinding away on trying to wrap up my last Kickstarter. So it's nice to take a break from that for a second. What are you up to, Ethan?
Yeah, I can't say I'm having a dog turd day. I'm on the show, so I'm honored. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
But I think the month's been pretty busy. I actually just came back from a wedding in Cabo, so just sliding right back into this. I haven't drawn for a minute. It's been a lot of flatting pages of my comics, so I'm actually excited to start doodling something random.
Oh, I have gotten so spoiled since I started hiring a flatter that now when I have a job where it's either too short of a turnaround or not really enough money to warrant or not complicated enough to warrant it, and I'm doing it myself, I'm griping the whole time like a spoiled child. Who the hell decided I had too good for this? I'm so spoiled now to just sending it off and getting nice, crisp, clean flats done. I'm a big spoiled child.
See, and that's what I'm afraid of. I'm noticing I'm only like 8 pages into the flatting right now, and I'm already like, holy hell, this is like a mission and a half. Like I must have like PTSD blocked out the last time I colored a comic. So I'm just afraid once I pay someone to flat it, I'm just never gonna go back.
And and that's the thing. I didn't even flat them before. I just went in and started blocking in the finished colors and stuff. But I did not realize how much time I spent going back and making the same selections over and over and over again, trying to select that one section of his shoulder to do highlights and then shadows and then this and that. And just having the flat references to click on to get that selected saves so much time. It is worth the extra time to do the flatting. If I have to do it myself now, I even block out all the characters in one solid color first and leave that as a layer I can reference if I want to, and then go and put all their detailed colors in. Because every once in a while, you just want to be able to like throw an outline around somebody or do an effect that only hits them or doesn't hit them or whatever, and being able to select their whole body at one time is great. But we're getting to talking business, and we're not even getting onto the subject of what we're here for. So it's easy to get carried away when you're having fun. All right. So first off, we're going to look at what we did last week on Roll for Hero. And I didn't make a fancy intro video this week, so we're just going to go right into it.
Yeah, we're just going to go right into it. So last week it was our Halloween special because it was the day before Halloween. And honestly, this was a lot of fun. So this time we ended up taking two classic monsters from, of course, fiction itself and tried to merge them into one. So this character that you're seeing here is my rendition of what if Dr. Frankenstein decided to take a bunch of people cursed with lycanthropy and somehow hodgepodged it all together in a cracked out cyberpunk-like fashion. So this is like if Frankenstein's monsters meets up with a series of other, werewolves creating this abomination that you see here. And honestly, I really don't know how else I could incorporate this character. Maybe on a different cover art for a Roll for Hero recap. But this was a lot of fun. And again, just kind of spur of the moment, trying to play with different, what's called muscle types. Because obviously there's some that are leaner, some that are more muscular. And playing with the fact that they're also different, colors of, like fur for some dogs and whatnot. So getting into that was a really interesting aspect of this character. So this was obviously my rendition of, Frankenwolf or, the Howler. I have no proper name for this.
Yeah, I'm scared just looking at it, honestly. I mean, meshing two monsters together, you guys are mentally sick in the head for that.
And to think, this is just our casual episode. This was just a Halloween special. You should see the other stuff we made.
This is the normal episode to guys like me.
Oh, you should have seen the monster one. That got really gross. When we were rolling
definitely won. If there was a competition, Fish would have won that episode.
Oh yeah, mine was absolutely disgusting. Let's see. Get the mouse on the right screen. Which screen? There we go. Benjamin says, "Well, this werewolf Frankenstein's monster is definitely going to have a weird human form." Absolutely.
And that's actually something we talked. That's something we talked about too on stream because we were actually mentioning that too. Wolfenstein, like that. That's actually a pretty cool name. I love that.
All right, and for
that's my character.
I got Mr. Hyde and the Invisible Man mashed up. And what I ended up coming up with was this idea that I really like and I want to spin off into a book and I don't have time to do it. But the idea is this like Agent Hyde, who is like just a soldier that they experimented on in the military, but they combined Dr. Jekyll's serum with the Invisible Man's serum. And now they get this giant cracked out, invisible murder monster that they can attack on people, who's still a soldier at heart, so they can still like kind of direct him into a path of destruction. And I'm really like, I'm thinking like it would be really fun to pair them up in a book that was either like Dr. Jekyll is the person that was developing these for the military and Agent Hyde, who's the guy who's sending out to do this, or like hide and seek and have two different agents. I don't know who Seek would be, but I think that would be funny too. So yeah. I'm already seeing so much stuff for this that would be fun. And then I started thinking about like a whole military team of like monsters and things. And yeah, I can't get lost in doing another book because I still got to.
Oh yeah, and I mean, speaking of team of monster like soldiers and stuff, that actually reminds me of the first video I shot in October, which was actually me doing a public domain rendition of the what's called Creature Commandos that I called the Legion of Mercenary Monsters. That's like the closest thing that I got to that. But outside of that, though, I did not see this second half because all I saw was the first part when you were just drawing.
I literally just finished it today, like because I was feeling crappy already, and I was waiting on some client approvals on like a poster that I'm working on and stuff, and I was just kind of stuck and feeling crappy, and I was like, well, you know what? I got some stuff ordered that I needed to order to finish up the campaign, and I finished this second image of him because once I got the idea of him growing bigger, sort of like the Hulk, with the whole, Jekyll and Hyde influence for the Hulk. I saw that image of this invisible glass-like behemoth, and being able to see part of his britches through his body just had me stuck, and I had to draw it out. So I did that. Let's see. Dadpool says hide and seek would be a dope title. I think it would be too.
Now, honestly,
I don't know if they're like agents on opposite sides or what. The Seekers could be different heroes every issue trying to find and take down Hyde. Oh, see, that would be cool too. That would be a whole. Okay, now we're going down a whole nother rabbit hole. Yeah, don't do this to me, Deadpool. We don't have time for that.
I know. Listen, that's the hard part too. Also, Ethan, I'm gonna just tell you this now. don't be surprised if somehow you end up loving the character idea that you end up coming up with, because we've had numerous rants and we dive deep into rabbit holes, feeding that dopamine rush of like, I want to work on this as a comic. Oh my God, it's a lot of fun. Trust me.
Yeah.
We've
I
developed.
was gonna say, isn't that
Sorry, continue.
like isn't that just the worst? Like you're just doing something quick and snappy for fun,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And like, you know what? What's one more thing on the plate? Like, as
Oh yeah, like
people
you
loaded
don't already know what a grind it is to get through a book in the first place.
Yeah, you like bargain with yourself. You're like, I can do this one much quicker than the others.
Oh
You know?
yeah, I'll do this as a black and white ash
Totally.
can, and I knock that out in a weekend. Yeah,
I'll do the line
sure.
art in one take. Like, seriously, I'll get this out by the end of the month. Like,
Yeah, no problem. No
And the
problem.
funny part was, you made a video talking about that on your shorts or like on your TikTok or whatever. You were literally talking about exactly that topic.
Yeah, because I constantly get those too, just like a spring of an idea or something, and I'm like, if I really just walked in right now and just like hustled, I'd have a comic out in no time. But then you sit there and you stare at a blank page and you're like, holy shit, this
Right,
is
I have
gonna
to draw it.
not gonna be that 25-minute stint. Yeah, I have to draw. I have to actually.
Oh yeah, getting the idea and getting excited about it is way easier than cranking out 20, 30, 60, 80 pages. That's a whole nother beast.
Because let me tell you this now.
We're the conceptualization guys. We're here
Exactly.
to like.
We handed it off to the peons to finish it. I'm a big picture guy.
In this show, we have developed, in my opinion, two entirely different universes. We have an entire cyberpunk, think like Batman Beyond-esque kind of a universe, and a steampunk universe that happens to have some aliens and magic and some weird stuff in there. And those became like completely different things that honestly, if we dive deep enough, those could be like projects for God knows how long.
Yeah, gotta admit, it kind of made me mad when we kept rolling steampunk left and right. And I was like, there's so many things on the chart that we could have rolled up other than steampunk, but we kept getting it. But we ended up with several characters in that world now that all kind of work together. And like, you know what? That would be a pretty cool series. It might need a little polishing, but that could be pretty cool.
Yeah. When all the together.
All right.
Literally. But outside of that, though, we've been yapping. We've got to see the characters that we ended up drawing for last week. So I believe this is now the time in which we grab our dice, grab our writing utensil of any kind, and let's just collectively work our two brain cells and let us do, well, the title of this show.
Let's do it.
I just barely make it with this screen every single time.
And I'm always trying to give him the leeway every time. I'm always tossing up word salads. Be like,
oh yeah, but like I'm waiting for that good hook to launch it, and then
it's more like
I have
you gotta do it like as I'm saying it,
and get the other screen down, and it's always like a last minute thing. Okay, we still don't have a settings one, which is fine because I know we have a bunch of very creative loudmouths in the comments over here that are going to give us lots of great ideas for settings. So we are going to start with our origins of our character, and I am rolling. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to turn on the Tower of Grayskull, which is the whole reason that we have the bit with the He-Man. And let's roll that. All right, we got 5, which is.
Might want to write this down, Ethan.
Yep. Let me grab my
failed or successful experiment. I always like that. You could be successful.
Me on 5, or we're all doing this.
Yeah. We're all gonna do the same thing. So we're all just gonna. So Mr. Fish is rolling. We're all gonna take the exact same prompt, and we're all gonna create a character of our own creation here.
All right. And now we are going to go to the power sets, and let's roll that. Whoops! Overshot.
Bro.
And one got stuck. All right, 6 and 5. That is 11.
Evelyn.
Oh my God! 4 major powers and 1 minor. Dude, that is a lot of power.
pretty OP. One
Yeah. Okay. No, admittedly, this is where it gets interesting for me because I really like the challenge of trying to make it all work together in one thing. I'm going to even these up a little bit
There we go.
so the people at home can see the prompts a little bit better.
And then also just show off the chat here. It's like I thought there were only 10 ideas for the roles. That used to be the case, but now we decided to make, or I at least decided to make some of these lists, board game friendly. So you can use 2 typical like dice from like a Monopoly board game or for
And
anything.
he ain't wrong. Because, I mean, while I assumed most of us nerds had D&D dice laying around somewhere, or at least knew where to procure them on the interwebs or our local comic shops, not everybody does. I had a few people hit me up asking me where to get them. And so the idea of moving it to something that was simpler, especially when it comes to sharing this idea with kids, was easier because you can pull these out of Monopoly if you have to. So, all right. Number 1 of our major powers is
Totally didn't know. Flip my pen.
9 telekinesis.
Bro, okay.
Just got really excited.
And then
8.
8 is transform matter.
Okay.
Jeez, what can't this guy do?
That's actually a good question. Should have fixed up that list there.
Come on now. 6 is animal powers or abilities.
If anything, I would say I'll hold off on that one because I also have a list of animals that we can base the powers off of from there.
Which could be anything. That could be like, the idea of these prompts is for them to be as generic as possible so that you can take them in whatever direction you want. And like, animal powers could be, Wolverine having heightened senses, or it could be Vixen being able to, have the power of them, or could be Buona Beast, whatever you want to do with it.
But we're matching these like
I'm probably gonna roll up
big, disgusting hodgepodge, right? Like we got 4 major powers and we've just listed 3 off of that. So that's kind of filling it up for us, right?
That's true. You're not wrong there.
And then immortality.
Oh God, not the immortal one again.
Sounds like a minor power, honestly.
All right. So, not overpowered at all. Not just your average animal powered, matter transmuting, telekinetic immortal with the singular minor power, because, he's so limited. Let's see what that singular minor power is. Boy, that dice sure does like 6.
Would you like me to roll just in case for sake of differences?
Yeah, I'm going to grab 2 different dice.
Well, let me go to the roll here. Well, I rolled 2 3s, so that's a 6.
No, one of my dice kept rolling a 6. So 6 is acrobatics. We can take that. Because that's fairly generic for a superhero. Like, lots of characters.
I don't know if they have telekinesis, transforming animal powers, immortality, and just sprinkling acrobatics there for now. Interesting. Well,
so essentially, Buona Beast. Yeah, that's what we.
Fans will still say our guys can't beat Goku or Superman. So.
Oh my God! The debate of a century. Will our characters ever beat Goku or Superman?
Like backdoor roll up an existing character.
Like, so we're a government experiment. Not only that, but here's the thing: we're a government experiment, but in what kind of setting?
Yeah, we still need.
This is usually where we let the chat kind of start popping out some ideas here, because obviously we used to roll it out. But before we do that, let's the optional modifiers. This is either the make or break for some characters.
This is my favorite. This is my favorite part because this just throws a monkey wrench into everything usually.
Oh yeah, kind of like with the Clue Relators we drew that one episode.
All right, 7 is powers only activate by an oath, a charm, something like that. So I can't use my stylus to write on my piece of paper.
Okay, that's actually a fairly decent. it's like an oath, a chant, or
young
basically they
Shazam
have
or
Like the
something.
Green Lantern using his ring, or
Yeah.
something like that, or the White Tiger having the medallion that gives him the power of,
I just heard oath, and I'm like, okay, you just recite Shazam or something, and then kablam.
yeah,
same
more or
thing.
less.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
And again, the whole point is that it's supposed to be generic enough to where you can make it your own thing, which for me, I think that's actually a fair limitation to an extent, because imagine if somebody tries to knock out the freaking mouth of the said character. They can't really do anything to, like those are things you have to take into consideration,
True.
The Captain Planet rings, like R.S. Shepard said, yeah, same thing. And then we've got
the motivation.
The motivation is hunted by their creator, which could be the creator of the charm or the oath, or it could be the person that. Well, we are an experiment too, so our creator
Probably
is
wants us
hunting
out because of how lethal we are.
You're the most dangerous hodgepodge of nonsense I've ever created. This simply cannot stand. All right.
Well, this is why I sit.
Okay, let's see. Oh, let me get up here and turn on Ethan's screen too.
And then actually, I got to share mine because I am a total professional and I exactly know what I'm doing, unless.
There we go. Now we just need to shuffle around.
No way, it actually shows.
It
Finally.
Did. Okay, wait a minute. We've almost got this right. Hold on. Let me shuffle for a second and move that over there. And we'll put Ethan over there. We'll move that over there. And now we're all above our drawing. That works all nice and neat. That's so nice with a guest.
Everyone can follow along. There should be no confusion in the chat.
Genuinely insufficient. Hold up, like Ethan, I need you for context. Y'all need to understand. I had to share the entirety of my screen. The fact that now I can share just my iPad screen right now.
Yeah,
it's actually legendary because there were times where I'm like in the middle of it and I have to click in and out sometimes to see how y'all's progression's going in terms of what y'all designing.
This is the one problem with writing this down on paper so that I have it next week to look at to remember what the powers were. I almost just took this marker to my tablet screen after trying to write a note with my stylus pen and it didn't work. I just almost went to the screen with this. So
when you work too much with mixed media and you are about to mix media together.
Literally. All right, so I'm just crack into it.
Yeah,
just have at it. Let's just go for it. And
now you can take it whatever way you want to take it and do whatever weird thing you want to do with those prompts. Let's see.
So what are you guys doing?
X-Men and Mimic.
It's like asking what you get for number 4.
Right. All the teens are wrapped up into one person. That's an idea I've been working on for a minute that I've been thinking about. Captain Planet rings, they say, X-Men and the Sentinels. Going through the comments here. Drawing on the screen with the marker about to be as immortal as the character.
It's like, that's the definitive thing here.
Yes, this was the mark made by the dreaded artist when he grabbed the wrong pin.
Okay.
R.S. Shepard kicking out a Weapon X style character created by a government program who's created to hunt superhumans, turns against its creator, and then they send killer robots to hunt it down.
You know what?
Jordan says, you guys heard about the game Dispatch? Oh, man. I saw an ad
I've seen
for that
gameplay
game.
of Dispatch. I want to play so bad. I told my fiance to get it because of the fact that Jacksepticeye plays a character in the game, and she loves Jacksepticeye. All right, now hold up. I am going to do a bit of a fun, dumb thing, and that fun, dumb thing is rolling up. This is a personal thing. If y'all would like to partake, go right ahead. If not,
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, let's roll that up.
This is all if you want to do it, but I'm going to roll up the animal powers for my character. So, Ethan, would you like me to roll anything for you, or do you want to kind of freeball it yourself?
I'll tune into this.
Okay, so this is going to be out of 100. Let's just hope we don't get Cougar again.
Give me jellyfish or something.
All right, let's see. Hold on. I'm trying to find my other D10 here. All right. From the Rick and Morty set. Gotta love that.
Nice.
Ian, right?
All right, we have an 87. So Ethan, this one's would you like this one for you then? This is an 87. You got a rat.
Oh man.
Dude,
Now, hold on.
Ratatouille.
Hold
Yeah,
up. If anything, how about this? How about this? Before we continue, I'm gonna roll up 3 animals. So this is animal number 1. All right. I'm gonna
Okay.
roll up animal number 2 and animal number 3, and we're gonna choose which one gets what. All right. So we got
Okay.
rat. We got the first one as a rat. All right.
If it's a bird, this would be funny.
All right. We have 73, which is an ox.
Oh.
Okay.
So we have rat and we have ox. All right. And now it's time for the last one. Rat, ox, and number 80 as it is, that is a pigeon.
Lots of names, got it. I can only choose one.
You can only choose one because we have animal powers, and on top of that, we already got everything else. So we got a rat, an ox, and a pigeon. So which one will be taken? So
I'm going
Ethan,
for
you are
rat.
our guest. You choose first. Which one do you want?
I'm going for the rat. Those shits are versatile.
Oh man,
Ooh,
I love
very
rats
good
so
one.
much. They're so good.
Mr. Fish, which one are you taking?
I would love to take the ox because I just had to draw a superpowered pigeon in a book recently. But because I know drawing pigeons is a pain in the butt, I will let you choose which one you want to do, and I'll do
Well,
the
if
other.
anything, I want to make your life easier, and I want you to have a little bit of fun today. So you
I'll
take
take
the ox.
the ox because
And
I
I'll take the
really
pigeon.
think that's fun. I need to get some reference pictures so that I don't mix up
Yep,
my
hold on.
bovine. You know, bovine purity is one of my talking points when I run for president. I almost
the
typed
funny
in
thing-
bovine instead of ox.
Okay, so so now this means so my government. Okay, I got pigeon powers, meaning I got 360 view nonstop. Ooh,
Okay, I can do that. That's the one I was thinking.
You're a grade A seeker for crumbs.
like man, I could just go for some sourdough bread.
Transmute matter.
Ah,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
and this is usually a part of the show where we try to keep it lively while we're drawing. So if there are too much of those known rules.
Oh my god, that's even harder.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
honestly a skill that I need to flex a little harder because you just get so zoned in, you know.
Oh,
Mhm.
100%. So that's the reason why we try to keep it up lively. If we had TS in here, he would be reading the comments. I think it must say Mr. Splinter doing acrobatics, finna go wild. We got Rat Man, and then maybe all 3 of your characters were involved in the same experiment. Ooh.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Oh yeah, 100%. And then we got Pink Pigeon. Well then. Now the question is, do we want to go? Well, you know what? Government experiment. I might as well say that these guys are probably part of a. I actually had this crazy idea. So when I made my public domain Spider-Man video, I actually, kind of put it in like the story that he ended up going into this like off. The guy who got bit by a spider turns out was going into this building, and there is this little section that had simply the name of Project Kingdom, kind of like Project Animal Kingdom, where they just try to create like savage like animals or something like that, or creating animals but taking them to a savage level. And then maybe this is where they do like the unfortunate human hybrid type situation, like Ninja Turtles mix Spider-Man villains or some junk like that. I don't know.
Better than I just saw on my streaming service stuff. Tusk. You guys know that movie?
What?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of when I hear animal human hybrid. just gag. Well,
The visuals
I
for
guess
that.
I missed that one.
Good.
you're not.
Don't.
You're not
I
missing
mean,
much. You're not missing much.
nah. It's one of those.
I
kind of-
haven't seen it, so I'm just talking out my ass with that. We could swear on this, right?
Have fun. I'm not. Listen, I'm not one to judge or dictate one's linguistic methods.
Any kids
Yeah, we're
watching,
not-
just don't swear.
We're not worried about getting demonetized at the moment for it.
Okay. I don't know why I'm like going with a almost Miguel O'Hare approach on this one. Body wise.
Okay.
He transforms matter. Wouldn't that be like kind of like the Midas touch effect?
Yeah, kind of. But transforms the matter into what though? Like for me, obviously, I'm gonna make it like cheese or something.
Okay, that's funny. I like that.
Okay.
King Monster's touch.
All right, hold on a second. We got a few other ones. You got Super Rat. You got the Musk Oxen, and you've got the Pink Pigeon. But it's funny that Mystery posted a video on the birds of a feather sisters as pigeons, and the pigeon is rolled. I'm not gonna lie, I really loved that cover art. That was one of my drawing. Mr. Fish's rendition of his character was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that one came out really cool.
What's up, creative folks? How you doing? Kieran Silva. Sorry if I said that incorrectly.
Yeah, that's my buddy
Kyron, duh. And here I am, rocking like a hurricane. Anyways, maybe the pigeon here is a member of the Birds of a Feather team. Ooh, being part of the Lost. Well, this would be set in the cyberpunk universe then, with our American Eagle and other characters and all that other kind of stuff. Okay. A purple pigeon. Gotta love that. You know, the funny thing was that, okay, I don't know why I'm having such a hard time with this, because I have so much of the human mindset, but then I remembered I once drew a pigeon-based character in a Dungeons and Dragons campaign.
Did you really? So you're actually just going to be using your old references for this?
I am not going to pull out all those sketchbooks.
You know what?
Jamie, pull that clip up.
The New York pigeon turned science fair experiment gone wrong, out for vengeance on its middle school creator. Like Matter even from Legion of Superheroes. I meant hero, not her. Oh, well, I kind of got the point there, but good to clarify. But yeah, no, the D&D campaign that I once ran like years ago, and if my friends are ever watching this, I called it The Mysteries of Dark Lagoon High. It's like if Scooby-Doo met with the Dimension 20 show of Fantasy High kind of a thing. And they encountered an Aarakocra, which is like a bird person that was themed after a pigeon. And he was trying to become like an assassin rogue, but he was like a weeaboo or something like that. So he was like listen, guys, I'm one of the best new assassins there is.
That's the classic underdog, because he's going toe-to-toe with like hawks and condors and like the raptors and shit. So
Oh yeah, 100%. And the funny thing was that we ended up rebooting the game, and the first rendition of the character was actually a cool dude. His name was Aspen, Aspen. And his character was essentially like he was like a cool guy, leather jacket wearing. He's like, oh, you're all just a bunch of posers. And then I just rebooted it to him, make him a complete dork.
Man, you totally like Napoleon Dynamite. You dudes are a bunch of losers.
Oh, I should have
No.
I wish. Honestly, that would have been hilarious.
If you knew anything at all, you know how cool I am.
Honestly, this is really hard because I can't tell which method I want to go with here. Because I can go the more humanistic route, but then like I want to. I gotta learn to break out of the human zone of it. Gotta really just experiment.
I'm going for like more of like a Power Rangers. I actually don't even know what I'm really throwing right now. Some sort of
like a Power Rangers kind of a monster of the week.
Ratatouille meets Blade Runner going on over here.
That's actually kind of cool. All right. Okay. Interesting.
All right, let me look how everyone else is doing their stuff. Oh, you guys are using blue? I gotta change my color.
When I switched over to digital, I had recently started using blue line pencils so that I didn't have to erase when I scan stuff in. And I just kept working in blue pencil when I moved over to digital, mainly because it made it so easy for me to tell the difference between when I was inking, like what was pencils and what was inks. And now I've taken to using like blue to rough stuff out, and then I will come back in and do an orange layer to tighten it up, because again I can see it clearly over everything else. It doesn't really compete with the blue, but my son was saying somebody had said something on one art stream about how our brain doesn't register the blue and reds and stuff as seriously as it does black. So it's easier to be looser with what we're doing. I don't know if that's necessarily true or not, but
Actually, I see where he's coming from with that, and I believe the idea of it was more towards computers, because when you actually scan in your comic stuff, so like, I this is just my take on this, but I believe that when you draw and sketch out an entire comic using nothing but blue stuff, and then you have it traced over with black line art, you can scan those pages in, and eventually, like, the computer won't fully register the blue, but it'll only take in just the black line art, and from there, that's why colors can go in and do what they got to do.
well, yeah, I mean that's why I was using blue pencil, because like that comes back from back when we had to stick them in giant production cameras. Like this giant camera took up half a room, and you had to lay stuff on the bottom and flood it with light, and it would take a picture, and that was what you would use for your like negative to make
Mm-hmm.
rollers
Yeah.
for the printers or screen printer or whatever, and that blue just would get washed out by the light and where the black would stay. But the scanner, it was easy enough to work out too. And but there's something to it. Like I don't take the lines as seriously when I'm working in one of these colors as I do. It's easier for me to be looser with it in these other colors for some reason. It works for me, and so I keep doing it that way.
I forgot he has to transform matter.
Yeah, I've only been just recently experimenting with the blue line shtick, just because I'll draw my rough, crappy lines, and then I can't see it. It's all just black on the canvas. I don't know what's transparent and what's not. So I'm slowly adopting that mentality. I'm just got some ways to go on it.
Yeah, even if you just flipped them over at the end when you started inking or something, so that it's easier to tell, man, it made my life a lot easier.
Okay,
No, we
I
don't
think
want
this is
that.
as good as I'm gonna get for now.
Are we like on a time limit or something?
No. It's just you can have at it, do what you want, but for me, it's more like I'm still trying to figure out whether or not I want to go more animalistic. But I know I don't have that tendency to do that, because I'll always opt out to do the more humanistic character sometimes, which is also the reason why I love this show, because I have to force myself to go out of those boundaries, to break out of the mold of like, oh, I could just do like a whole Kryptonian or a Viltrum. I think no, like if I'm going to draw a character, I'm going to learn to really just explore with it, which is why one of the more interesting episodes was definitely drawing the steampunk aliens that we ended up doing that one time, just because it really threw both of us out of our comfort zones, because Mr. Fish has done lots of steampunk adjacent stuff. I haven't drawn that since I was like, I think freshman year or sometime in middle school, because I had such a big steampunk phase.
So what's your everyone has like their go-to fallback on like designs and stuff. So is yours like Superman-esque DC hero bodybuilder style? Or
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Mine's yeah, I tend to go a little bit more realistic, like not full MCU, but like I like seams and wrinkles and stuff in fabric and costumes, and I like to throw in some extra body types and stuff. But I still definitely have a lot of like 90s nostalgia vibe in my designs, because that's when I came of age. So there's a lot of that in there too.
it's interesting because it's a balance of like understanding that that's your style and that's your creativity. But when you look at your art every day and then you look at other people's art, you think that theirs is so much more fresh and original. But it's like yours is too. You just look at it every day, so it seems like it's mundane or repetitive.
Yeah, it definitely, doesn't. I know, like, people get on to me sometimes, but I'm pretty clear about like where I stand in the world of comic art. Like, I mean, my stuff's solid. I can tell a good story. I bring a lot of strengths to it, but like nobody's lining up for my signature because this one splash page is just, oh my god, look, it's so. that I'm not a wow you with one page guy. I am the guy that hits deadlines and knocks out books and gets it done on time and is a good storyteller. Like I bring a lot to it, but I'm not that guy. There are some guys that just have a style or whatever that's just wow, that is so cool.
You're not
But
that guy yet. You're not that guy yet.
well, I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy to most people. There may be a handful of people out there that are just like, oh my god, that's so cool. I wish I knew how he did that. And I tell you, it's probably either just something in the way my wrist clicks, or it's a brush I'm using. It's speed over anything. It's not so much of my style now is really just like what gets the drawing done quickest.
Honestly, at the end of the day, that's like the most important factor. You got to get it out there. So,
Mhm.
Yeah.
so what comics are you working on now, Mr. Fish?
I am wrapping up Alice Lost in Wonderland 3, which the Kickstarter's been over for over a month now, and it's stressing me out that it's not out yet. But I had a bunch of stuff come up that slowed me down, and just family stuff and trips we had to take, and kids lost a grandpa, and so suddenly trips to funerals and things we weren't expecting, and so just stuff came up, and then like there was a planned vacation. My in-laws bought us a cruise for a late wedding present like 2 years ago, and then that time finally came up. And when it was in the future, going away for a week sounded like a great thing. When it came to the present, like I got stuff to do.
But so you're saying the Kickstarter was stressful from external factors, not the actual
Yeah,
Kickstarter.
yeah. I mean, and partly my factor, because usually I have a book either finished or 80% done before I start the Kickstarter, and like finish it during the Kickstarter, and it's ready to go at the end. This time I had a client book that I needed to get done on time to meet an obligation to him. So I was like, well, I'll finish it after the Kickstarter. It won't take that long. And then everything else came up. So it pushed that a little bit further than I'd like it to be. I'm like 3 weeks behind schedule, which isn't the end of the world in Kickstarter terms. But to me personally, I feel like I have failed everybody. Oh, my 106 backers, I've let them down personally because it's not out yet. But I'm harder on myself about that stuff than anybody else is ever going to be.
Yeah, I think people can be pretty forgetful. I mean, shit, I'm getting Kickstarter emails for stuff I supported like a year ago. And I'm like, did I already read that? No, I didn't. Okay, so what's new? And then I click on the status, still in development. I'm like, all right, I'm never seeing this book, am I?
Yeah, the longest. I know there are some that I never got, so I can't say that it's the longest, but the longest one that I know I waited on because I was really excited about it, and I was a huge fan of this guy's work. And when I first got started, he was the guy that I was looking at, and I was like, man, this guy is making it in indie books primarily. And like he did some work at Alterna and stuff, but mostly he just was doing his own things and kickstarting them and was making his living. And I was like, this is the guy I want to be like. And not for nothing, his style's a lot like mine. A much simpler design, more economy of line and stuff. So I was a big fan of his work, and his Kickstarter came out, and the delivery date came and went, and the excuses kept coming, and we kept getting these messages that that this is the only project I'm working on right now, and I'm going to be focusing on it and nothing but it until it's out in your hands for 3 years.
Jesus, loves me so
There
much.
is no way that dude didn't do another job for 3 years and survived off the $3,000 he made on that Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And that
The math's not mathing on that.
part of it is being autistic and stuff I don't like being lied to, but that just 3 years of waiting on that book stopped me from ever backing anything else from that dude again. And I'm definitely not in there. I've worked on projects with people sometimes where, like, I know the book was done before it ever went to Kickstarter, and then still after the Kickstarter, while the publisher is saying like, oh yeah, the books are going to ship out any day now, I know for a fact those books didn't get even ordered for like 6 months after the campaign closed. And that drives me up the wall personally. I don't care for it. It's too much stress for me. I want to get it done and get it out and get on to the next book.
Yeah, it's like to be a fly on the wall of someone that just got a successful Kickstarter, and then they go, all right, time to start the book now.
Oh man. I mean, and I'm not knocking anybody that, like, you know, has to get the funds to make the book happen. Like that's the way a lot of people get started and a lot of people do it. Personally, I kind of hate working on those books because when it can be sometimes, you know, months or even up to a year one time between when I did the sample pages and when I had to come back and finish the project, I don't even remember what I was thinking when I drew those sample pages. And honestly, my art doesn't even look like that anymore. And I've changed a lot over that year. And I don't remember like whose face was I thinking of when I drew this guy's face before. Or in one case, I had finished like 5 pages for the Kickstarter and I had penciled like 10 more. And then like nearly a year later, I came back finally to finish the job because they finally had the money freed up because they got the money from Kickstarter. And then who knows what happens. And then they had to save the money out of their paycheck. Why didn't you just do that the first time? But that's not up to me. And so, like, I don't even remember what I was thinking when I scribbled that blob in the corner, you know, behind Home Dude there. I don't know what that blob was supposed to be now.
Yeah, you're like reinvigorating the inspiration. It's been too long.
That's tough. I don't like doing it that way if I can help it. I don't blame anybody that's got to do it that way to start out, you know, and paying an artist is expensive, especially if you're going to pay a good artist that, you know, has some experience and knows what they're doing and knows how to hit deadlines and stuff. We don't come cheap because we know how hard the job is. And no offense to anybody else, like I've had to tell several guys, I think your idea is great and it sounds like fun, but you know, if I'm not trying to be rude, but if I'm doing a job for free today on the hopes that it kicks off, it's going to be one of my projects.
Yeah, you're betting on yourself.
Yeah, I'm betting on myself on a project that I already want to do and, you know, want to see get done. If I'm working for free today, hoping it pays off tomorrow, it's my project. I don't mean any disrespect. Not that I don't think your project's cool. I don't care about your project as much as you do. You don't care about my project as much as I do. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just the way it is. But
yeah, I think that's where the an indie comic thing that I see for creators is like we all kind of make stuff that attracts other comic creators and other aspiring indie creators, which is like it's great, you know, but it gets a little echo chambery where it's like we're all kind of trying to do the same thing and we're not being active audiences or active readers compared to like, so kind of like what you're saying, like you'd rather bank on your own book rather than someone else's. It's like, how do we need to be able to bridge creator and reader a little more seamlessly. People want to back up whatever they actually fuck with or catches their interest.
That's a question that I really want the answer to is how do we crack over from just attracting other hopeful comic book creators which I have no problem with because a lot of them make really cool stuff, and a lot of them were huge encouragements to me when I got started, and are the reason that I'm doing what I'm doing now. Like little Kyron Silva in the comments. His Saw the Lightning Wielder was one of the first Kickstarter books I backed, I think, because before I ran my Kickstarter, I didn't even know you could get comics on Kickstarter. Like, I literally just saw a YouTube video about how to fund your comic book printing, and they mentioned Kickstarter. I didn't even know that was a thing for that. I just thought that was like for, I have a widget or a doodad that I wanted to build, or an independent film I wanted to make. It never occurred to me. And after I found out, I started backing a bunch of stuff, but Saw the Lightning Wielder was one of the first ones that I backed, and I think one of the first ones I got. And I was so impressed with it, and I enjoyed it so much. And I was like, okay, so indie comics can actually, the self-printed, got them digitally printed at Kablam or whatever, comics can actually be good, can be a quality book. Because I had seen some up until this point. I hadn't seen a good one yet. And
Dang, not even my book.
Yeah.
This was a long time this was still in comics for a twinkle in your eyes.
Oh, that's true. Because I remember like in early 2005, that's when they were starting their business too. I remember looking up like, where do you print them and all that other kind of stuff. And little did I know, I unintentionally would meet them in person because my dad just really needed to get away from people. And he's like, you know what? Let's go to Orlando. Hey, kid, come with me.
I'm still waiting for to get into a con or something in Florida, just because I want to be close enough to make an excuse to be able to go by and see Barry and Jenny, and because I've done so many books with them at this point through there, and I'd love to do an interview with them and a walkthrough and just
Great. Actually, funnily enough, I actually had the opportunity to see their printing facility because we ended up going there in person.
Yeah. I love them. They're great dudes. Or, well, I mean, not all dudes. Jenny's not a dude.
Great dudes and dudettes.
Let's see. Plus, the pigeon hero could have been secretly a bird man, and his bird genes were awakened by the same organization that caused the near extinction of the birds of the Feather Sisters race. There's an idea.
That's true. A lot of bird themes in the cyberpunk universe, now I think about it.
So what are your favorite Christmas movies from Rodrigo?
Ooh, Violent
And
Nights.
Hammerhorn from Jordan.
Damn right, barely in November. How about our favorite Thanksgiving movies?
You know what? That's because, and the only sad part is that I think there are very few, because I would say at that point you might as well just say the Hallmark Channel, because they'll at least have something of that caliber there.
Yeah, I got one Thanksgiving movie. That's Freebirds, when those fucking turkeys go back.
Oh, yeah. I traveled. I forgot about that.
I watched it for the first time last year on Thanksgiving, so.
Oh, I forgot all about that. I was just thinking the only one I could think of was Charlie Brown. And I was like, well, I guess we're all going to have the same answer because that's the only one I know.
Oh no, I love that one. I used to be a picky eater growing up, so I didn't want to eat the turkey and the stuffing and all that stuff. So I remember watching Charlie Brown and being like, "Damn, I want pretzels for Thanksgiving. I don't want to eat the cranberry. I want Skittles and popcorn and stuff." I thought it was the greatest Thanksgiving meal ever.
Oh man, cranberry was a hard ask as a kid for me to try and get that sour stuff down. Now it's my favorite part, but man, as
my
a kid,
fiance makes it like it's no tomorrow. She makes it like if it's nothing. She makes it like nothing happens. Bryce, I'm having a baker as a fiance.
Oh, dude.
Oh, she bakes?
She is by trade, that is her job. She is a professional baker, and she is the reason why my back is as wide as our nation as is.
So she's constantly waking up at like 2 a.m. to go rise the bread or whatever they do, right? Like there's always
no. No, but she does like she works at a really high-end hotel, and they do a lot of like fancy pastries and all that other kind of fun stuff. And I'm talking about like so fancy that when she talks halfway through, I'm like, wait, are you talking about alchemy ingredients, or are you talking about actual, because it sounds like alchemy, bro. It sounds like a whole different type of science.
Yeah, she's just throwing the periodic table at you. It's like, no, it's sucrose, it's sugar.
It's like, oh right,
That's
totally.
the thing, though, man. Baking is science. That's what gets me about it. Like, I like baking, but man, you can't just wing it. You can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna throw some of this in there and some of that in there. Like, you can get a little creative once you know what you're doing, but man, it's easy to mess it up.
Oh, 100%.
Kill the
I
reaction
mean,
altogether.
it is. There is no room for error. Like with cooking, you can make those mistakes because a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you'll be fine, and like the flavors will still come out just fine. Baking is like one wrong whisk of an egg white. Next thing you know, you end up like screwing up the entirety of a cake, flambe, or whatever other ingredient. You have.
Whoa! You didn't use 1/64 vanilla extract. You're fucked.
Right? Exactly.
Oh,
No.
that was entirely the wrong type of flour. No, you didn't need self-rising flour. No, you needed bread flour. But doesn't the bread need to red? No, totally different thing. Can't use that.
And the funny thing is that she has never made her own sourdough. My sister-in-law has actually been like the sourdough expert as of recent.
She didn't practice this bread during the pandemic. I feel like everyone was baking bread back then.
That was my dad. My dad was 100% baking bread throughout the pandemic. My brother was too busy getting married during the pandemic. I got 2 of those, and I got 2 sisters in the process as well.
Oh, no way. Okay.
Yeah, I got a big family.
Pandemic wedding.
I got a Puerto Rican father, I got a Colombian mother, and let's just say that they got too handsy sometimes.
Not enough room for the Holy Spirit in the middle.
And the funny thing is, they're both pastors.
All right. How's everyone critters looking? All
right. Well, I'm still in the whole like defining my thing over here, not even in the coloring stage. But I also kind of like how, and the one thing I love about it is like we all get to see how we all like draw out our own characters. So obviously we see how like Mr. Fish is drawing it out, like if it's a toy from the 80s or 90s. You're over here drawing it like if it's a Scholastic Book Fair, not in a bad way, I should say, like a Scholastic Book Fair kind of villain.
I fucking love the Scholastic Book Fair.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you did make a video stating how freaking what's it called? The two characters from Captain Underpants happen to be the best comic writers of all time.
Yeah,
I watch your videos. Don't think I don't.
Dude, for real. No, yeah. The Scholastic, that's where I get all my Captain Underpants fix. But that's actually where I discovered Bone for the first time too. I was like in 3rd grade and I was like, what's this little critter? And then, that kind of spiraled the whole graphic novel love from there. Because Bone, if you guys have read Bone, right? Or no?
I grew up in kind of a desert. It was really hard to get a hold of comics where I was. Like, there was some stuff that you could get at like the local drugstore, but I'd have to drive an hour to get to a comic book store. So
they don't have the Scholastic Book Fair out in the desert.
Oh man, we had the Scholastic Book Fair, but it was a very different book fair back in the 80s than it is, now. Like they didn't have.
I don't even know if they have book fairs anymore.
Yeah, books don't exist nowadays. It's just all V-Bucks, Fortnite V-Bucks, and fidget spinners.
Back in our generation, we actually bought books because we actually liked them. Controversial, I know. This is where we also got to see
read our stories on paper like it was intended.
Crazy. Well, so Ethan, if you don't mind me asking, what kind of got you into making your own? Obviously, you had your inspirational moment for graphic novels, but what made you want to actually go as far as to creating your own story?
So I've actually probably like you guys too. I've been drawing comics ever since I was a little kid, per Captain Underpants and whatnot, all the early inspirations from back in the day. But I actually, when I went to college, I switched to doing a film major because I was more interested in like writing scripts and doing film and all that fun and industrial jazz. and moved out to LA after college for that. Yeah, had some experience out and about there, but I just realized, especially during the pandemic when the whole industry shut down and we had nothing to do but cough and bake bread, I was like, I still love to draw, and I've grown to learn how you can write a script, for example, but that doesn't mean it's going to get, made lickety split. It might be sitting in your desktop collecting dust for the next 3 decades.
Yeah.
And somewhere along, something clicked for me where I was like, well, I can draw and I can make comics. So I'd rather have the story made in some medium than no medium at all. And I had this script that I was sitting on for a fat minute. And then during the pandemic, I was like, all right, it's go time. Like, I got nothing else to do. I want to lock in. And I just started thumbnailing it and drawing it. And yeah, no, I actually got it right here for my background mise en scène. It's Blood in the Land, very Last of Us inspired post-apocalyptic graphic novel. And at the end of the day, it's just really satisfying and fulfilling to like be able to flip through this book and read it and like see it as like a real story come to life, which if I were still doing the screenwriting film industry game, I just feel like it'd be either getting passed around or, vaulted somewhere. And so, yeah, comics is really new to me. Like, you should make your own stories.
Yeah,
that is awesome. And I had the luxury
of
getting to. Sorry about that. I had the luxury of getting to read that story all in one. I literally read it all in Halloween night, like one.
Yeah. You messaged me that, and I was like, dude, one sitting is legendary. Like, it's 180 pages, so like it's I would not have put it past. I would not have faulted you for like putting it down and getting back to it in a couple days, but I was like completely super honored that you just like blasted through it.
I mean, brother, man, you took the time to check out my comics. So, I mean, the only thing you have to do now, in fairness, because you're on the show, you have to go check out Mr. Fish's stuff. I mean,
yes, I do actually.
His stuff is fantastic. I mean, I have the luxury to say that I own a few of his stuff, especially Green Zone. T-Man and Hyperstrike is a really fun one as well. What's it called? The only one that I have yet to properly own as of this moment is his Alice Lost in Wonderland, which is like, that was awesome. And getting to actually draw characters we actually did a whole Roll for Hero episode where we drew like monsters or characters that would exist in his comic book universe, which was a lot of fun.
Oh, no way.
That was a fun one.
If he applies them to the book, you will get the royalties, right?
Probably like a 1 penny royalty kind of a thing. Honestly, I'll even take half a penny.
Yeah.
Out of the dozens of dollars I make, he gets 0.001 for every.
Oh yeah, I'm living the large, baby.
Dude, in the indie comic scene, that's like the 1%. He's like,
oh yeah.
But yeah,
the fact that I pay my mortgage with indie comics is the biggest flex I can make anywhere. Ignore the fact that I live in Arkansas and my mortgage is cheaper than most people's rent on a mailbox in like LA. Yeah. But I pay my mortgage drawing indie comics. Damn it.
No, that is absolutely a flex. Like, I'm jealous now. Like, I would love for indie comics to support like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it can get there. It's just enough time, energy, and effort. And maybe the same organization that created the different turtles for my ultra value TMNTs. So for context, I do a bunch of videos where I primarily did a lot of public domain stuff, but one episode in particular, everyone was asking that I should make Ninja Turtles. Now, the thing is, there's not many turtles in folklore or legends, unless you're talking like, the tortoise and the hare, where I could do that. So I actually found an old sketchbook of mine that had like these little turtle drawings that I put in there, and they were all different kinds of turtles. And one of the comments that I ended up receiving from that video that I ended up making was like, oh, it's like they have a Master Splinter, but instead of it being based off of like the naming of every of like turtle being based off of like a Renaissance artist, their overall aesthetic and theme was based off of movies that they all ended up watching. So one of them was like an adventure seeker, hence why they wear like a little scarf, like an Indiana Jones kind of a character.
Oh, okay,
one of them loved westerns, why he wore like a cowboy hat and always had a freaking revolver. The other one was like a ninja inspired one, hence why she would actually carry like a ninja adjacent spear and would have like, the headband and whatnot. There was another one where it was a sci-fi based one, completely covered in turtle, covered in tech, So each of those characters had like their own little renditions.
That just leaves so much room too for like, there's so many genres too. It's like sequel, you got noir turtle or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's
right.
Apply.
All right, now we get to the coloring. It's about time I finally got to this part.
Oh, we never answered that one guy's Christmas movie question. I remember you. I remember we'll revisit the Christmas stuff. I don't have a favorite Christmas movie. I don't know. Now I'm feeling
Obviously, I would say Elf, Violent Night, because it's just a unnecessarily violent Christmas movie, and I feel like we at least need one of those. And controversially, Die Hard, and I will die on that hill.
oh boy, we're starting that controversy.
I
It's a nuclear hot take.
I'm gonna have to come down on the original Grinch cartoon because that epic song, "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch," and as a little kid with a name like Fish that doesn't rhyme with much, Fish and Grinch rhymed close enough that I could sing my name into that song, and I would sing it all the time. It might have been part of why I came out so mean early on because I really liked that song, but mine would have to be the Grinch, hands down.
And you just have a consistent daily diet of a roast beast.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Favorite Christmas movie? I don't know. My answer I feel like would apply to any season, even Halloween and stuff. I love just like holiday specials in general. I loved like growing up on Cartoon Network where they would have like a Christmas special, like a 1 hour Christmas special, like Billy and Mandy or something. I really loved those over like Christmas movies are great. Don't get me wrong. But nothing's jumping at me right now at this very second. I'm thinking of like fucking the Madagascar Christmas, the Shrek the Hall short for some reason. I'm thinking of like all the like shows I grew up watching and the fact that the animators and whoever took the time to make like a whole ass holiday special. I feel like yeah, just something about that helps like expand their worlds or see their characters doing other stuff. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Gotta love those little
kind of
special
the same
editions.
way. Like they all kind of run together for me. Like, I mean, they're cool, but like, I've never been like, oh boy, it's a Christmas special. I mean, I really did like the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeers and all the Rankin and Bass ones, but that was because I loved the stop motion, and I was dissecting it with my eyes as we watched it, trying to figure out every little step of every little thing that they did and how they did it. And I was trying to figure it out for making my own stop motion animation videos, not necessarily because I really loved the storytelling of Rudolph or whatever.
Yeah, they do some crazy, like they use like cotton balls and stuff to show like the splashing of water, like very creative. Like Wallace and Gromit, they use that one clay brand that I think is extinct now, and it's like just cool to see the more felt, plushy side of the Rudolph.
Making it out of what you could get your hands on. That's one of the things I really enjoyed. If we're going down the rabbit hole of stop motion, that's one of the things I love about watching the old Gumby episodes, because like they literally like whatever you could find, cotton balls, just stuff laying around,
Yeah, it's like taking one of those I Spy books and just dumping it out of the page.
Yeah. Way lower budget, had to knock stuff out quickly. And I find that really interesting. Plus, I always thought the Gumby theme song would make a great like heavy metal song. I think it would make a really great like Kiss homage song, if it was done in that style. He's here and he will be here to stay. Gumby. I think that would be really awesome. But that's a side point.
All right. Not
Y'all ain't paying enough for me to sing.
Funny enough, growing up in a family full of musicians is you think you pick up a thing or two. But I picked up nothing other than voice work. All right.
I am literally only a drummer because I was the last one to get my parents to get me an instrument out of my friends that wanted to be in a band. And everybody else got their like grandmas to buy them the like cheap bass out of the Sears catalog or whatever. And I was stuck having to try and convince my dad to buy me a $500 drum set.
You still play now?
Oh yeah. Well, I haven't played since I got married. I played in churches for years and years, and I
Drums
amassed
and
this.
drums?
Oh yeah,
I'm trying
and
to
I used to
imagine
be in like a
during
traveling
the
praise band for a
sermon or
while.
something.
We travel around to different churches and stuff and play. Um, that was also when I was in a wheelchair, which was fun times. But that was a whole nother set of stories.
Well,
But
at least you could still drum, I guess.
oh yeah, like I didn't have to be able to see because it was my drum set, so I knew where everything was. And as long as they could get me up there on the drum kit and get the sticks in my hands, I could usually play. Every once in a while, it would take a minute of the song starting, and the first couple of beats might just be a tap, tap, tap. But eventually, I could loosen up enough, and my body would start working again, and I could start wailing. I might be blind the whole time I was doing it, but didn't really matter because I know where everything is.
I gotta say, I
And
don't think I've ever been to a church session, sermon, whatever it's called. I don't think I've ever seen drums applied to the mix. So that's definitely something I gotta see now.
oh yeah, it's pretty common in
Staple organ, right? Or
modern
the choir.
churches
I
now.
think you're probably thinking of one of those old Catholic kind of churches because what's it called? Because we have drums in ours as well. My family's so involved in it. My mom, my dad, my aunt, my uncle, my brother, and now both my sisters, all engaged into some church adjacent activity. I mean,
Okay.
my parents are pastors, my aunt's a pastor, my grandma's a pastor, my grandpa, the whole lineage of pastors here. And then so both my brothers are pastors. One's youth, one's regular. And then my older brother happens to be also the leader of our worship
Regular
ministry,
young
primarily music stuff. So he plays a little bit of everything from flutes, guitars, basses, pianos. Yeah, and he has the whole setup. He has the whole thing.
One-man band. Yeah.
Yeah, and he also made it his business. Literally, he does music adjacent. He does Christian music as his actual business.
Wow, that's actually really cool.
Yeah, and I do comic art, so
Yeah.
we all got stuff to do.
You draw the posters for him.
He would love for me to do that, but he has a really particular mindset about everything.
Oh yeah, man, you gotta be careful about working with family. I learned that my family is the worst to work with. I ain't never wanted to slap an old woman so bad. It was trying to. My grandma was trying to get me to do. She wanted me to do a portrait of the house that she was born in, and I don't like doing architectural drawings, but I'm good at it. Like it's all like basically math. It's not hard to do. And I was fine with doing it. And she's like, okay, well, see, we had this big porch on the front, and we need to be able to see that. We need to be able to see the side door where I go out to milk the cows, and we need to be able to see the back door of the house too, where we go out to the outhouse, and we need to be able to see the outhouse that's behind the house, and we need to be able to see the tomato patch that's behind the outhouse, and we need to be able to see the barn down the road that we would milk the cows in. And I was like,
just take a picture.
Can't show all four sides of the house at the same time without it looking like a Picasso image. And she's like, well, you just have to draw all four sides. Not that I can walk around all four sides of my house and see it. Why can't you draw it? And I was like, because the drawing doesn't move. It's a still image. You can't take a photo and get all four sides of the house. Yes, I can. And she proceeds to walk around the house. It's like, not like that. Like, I could do you four separate images. Well, if you were a real artist, you could do one image that showed it all.
Ooh,
oh, that made me want to knock the dye right out her eyebrows. I love her. She's a mean woman.
I think she's in chat right now. She's
love that. Anyways, I think I more or less got my design for the character. I mean, for me, I always tend to put them in basic standing poses because I feel like once I actually get the chance to really think about how their powers work, and really how that operates. And speaking of characters, I think I have a bit of a fun headcanon as to like my character in particular. So my character's based off of a pigeon, meaning he has feathers, and he has pigeon-based abilities. He's a telekinetic. He has all these powers, right? Especially with the matter. What's it called? Because I have it here. The transforming matter part. I feel like what would be like really interesting is like my character would actually take his biological feathers and he would actually shape those out to being like throwing darts or something like that.
Hold on a
And he'll
second.
convert
Where did he?
and he'll
where
like
did he
convert those into a full blown like he'll take as many feathers as he can and he'll just start throwing them. He'll turn them into either stone or gold or something like that, and he'll just start chucking them. You know?
go? Okay, here we go. Now I can put it up there.
There
All
we
right,
go.
there we go. Now we can see him full screen.
Yeah, I do
So-
not want to go toe with that guy.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
want to mess with him. I wouldn't have thought a pigeon could look badass, but that's a tough looking pigeon right
Yeah,
there.
you drew that right now. That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So trying to go off of that. One of my favorite aspects too when drawing some bird characters, because again, this is when I did some home brewing for my D&D ideas for, bird people, that their arms and their legs would kind of share the same texture as like, what most bird legs would be like.
Mhm.
So obviously we have the more, biological aspect of this guy. Maybe, one of the commenters said that, this was probably originally a bird person or something like that. And it was just kind of pumped full of, superhero serums and stuff. Probably was a horrendous experiment, maybe just trying to get away. He's trying to be a free bird. Almost done. So like one of the cool ideas I had for it was that he would actually take his feathers and use that as like throwing darts. So he'll turn them either into stone or to gold or some type of metal or whatever, and he'll start like chucking them out. And he takes his he takes his periodic table very seriously. So when he's like transforming something into a different kind of element, he'll be like, okay, how much would I really need to get into this? How much does gold cost? How much does silver cost? And he'll learn the actual like components of creating them. And then he'll try to get his way through. Maybe he encounters two crazy bird sisters that live in cyberpunk suburbia. Who knows? Maybe
You know what I wonder? If you really could like firestorm, just like transmute, this desk into chocolate pudding or whatever. Like, how deeply intimately do you have to know the chemical structure and the makeup to get it to come out right? And then I wonder, like, how do things change? How would like the volume and size of things change based on the actual atomic material that's in there? When I rearrange all those particles into being gold, let's say, would that be like a much smaller amount of matter because it's denser than like the wood that my desk is made of, let's say? I wonder about the reality of something completely unrealistic. But I wonder, like, what would happen if I really could do that? What would the consequences be of, like how much heat and stuff would be given off by the process of doing this? These are the things that I think about. Just curious.
And then of course I also added a
Kryptonite
dog
needs to be
maybe
his
showing off that he's
kryptonite
like a
needs to
soldier.
be just bad guys like throwing breadcrumbs, and it makes him stop in his tracks and just starts picking at them. Yeah. It's like an up, like squirrel, like just loses focus of what's going on.
Bread crust? Ugh, cigarette butt.
Sourdough. No, my one weakness.
Bad guys start throwing down breadcrumbs and Alka-Seltzer tablets.
Man, this stuff is hitting really good.
Oh man. All right. I think that looks pretty cool. Let's see. Let's look at Ethan's. See what you got there.
This
Yeah.
looks like a Ninja Turtle villain in the best way imaginable. Like when I say that, it looks like a dope Ninja Turtles villain. Like I can see him. That is awesome.
Definitely going for like Ratatouille meets some sort of 90s Blade Runner cybernetic something. So his transformation matter, he turns things into ingredients. His little ornament, his little charm is the chef's hat up there at the top. It's very chef based. Let's say it's like Remy after his golden days, and then the chefs of the world turn him into some horrible experiment to keep making food. So this is
Let's
like
say that
this
all
is
these
the gritty,
chefs were
gritty
cooking up
Pixar
a horrible
reboot.
experiment.
Yeah, this is the gritty, dark Pixar reboot of Ratatouille.
I dig it, man. That's awesome. That totally looks like it should be like the action image on the back of the action figure packaging.
Oh yeah, like the packaging
Push
of
the
an
button
action
on the
figure.
back, and he's going to transmute the
Yeah,
ingredients.
now with
Like,
wooden spoon. Yeah, now with utensils.
does not actually transmute matter.
It does not prepare you food. Do not consume.
Right? Just 100% chemical components.
All right, and now let's see what I came up with here. I really steered into the ox. I really liked the ox idea, and I went with a musk ox because just I liked the horns. But it also, as I started thinking about the telekinesis and the transformed matter and the animal powers and the immortality and the power by an oath or a charm, it hit me. I've had an idea rolling around in the back of my head for a while anyway that I've been wanting to do. And so I kind of just made this guy that guy that I've been wanting to create and put down on paper. And so in my idea, like the experiment that was being done was like trying to tap through like dimensional walls, and they tapped into this other dimension, which set this connection between whoever this guy is and this ancient cosmic being who is this like musk ox god of war or whatever. And it's a being from a completely other dimension, and the weapon got transferred through the portal. And so now anytime the dude uses the weapon as the charm, like if he picks it up or he touches it or whatever, he transforms and switches places through the dimensional walls with this alien being. And so like kind of like Thor would, what's his name? Blake would hit the stick on the ground and turn into Thor. Like if the dude grabs this hammer, he basically switches places with this guy. Now he's stuck in the alternate dimension having to try and survive. And this dude's here. And this dude is immortal, has telekinetic control over this hammer and everything, is, a big beefy badass. But then, but this hammer that got pulled into our dimension is the key that brings him back and forth. And I really like the drama of the idea of like, not having control over the superhero form. Like maybe they have a bit of a psychic link because of the transformation, but like he doesn't necessarily have to let you come back. Maybe he likes our world better, and you're stuck in this, interdimensional void, like fighting off shadow demons and stuff for eternity. And there's nothing to him, but you're just a dude in your underwear, and you're stuck over there. I like that idea. I think that's cool. So
damn, what a horrible trade-off. You're stuck in your underwear and who knows where.
Oh yeah, like
around.
The idea of being stuck inside Fate's helmet while Fate's like operating your body is just a terrifying concept to me, especially when you get into like, no, things are too messed up. I can't trust the world to you. I need to stick around. And maybe you just never get out. Maybe there's the bones of other people here in this dimension that, that he switched places with and didn't trade back, and they just died. It's I like the idea.
So it's like an unfortunate trade-off. Like I go to your world, you go to mine, you suffer, I suffer less. It's a good trade-off, am I right?
If like Dr. Doom's coming at you and he's trying to, he's threatening to blow up your house and your family and stuff if you don't hand over the weapon, like what are you going to do but grab it and transform and let this dude lay waste to Doom? But doing that, you might not be able to convince him to let you come back, and then from the other side, what would it be like to just be like a living weapon that people just pulled out when they needed you, when everything went to hell, and then expected you to go back to where you came from? And like, 1 minute you're fighting in the middle of World War II, and then the next thing you know, you're standing in the middle of Times Square, New York, like 30 years later, and no idea how you got there because some new chick just picked up the hammer and now you've switched places with her. And, I think it taps into really interesting. The whole transformation thing messes with my head, and I really want to play with that idea. So I don't know. It may be a muskox looking superhero coming your way one of these days soon.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of the books I've thought about maybe pitching to a different publisher or something. I'd like to do it, but if I do it, it's got to be like a graphic novel. Like it's got to be like one big epic story. I don't want to get stuck doing an ongoing series with this guy forever to get it out there. But like, you know, 100-something page book that just like really goes through this story and like, you know, watch him walk for like a century at one point in history because he's just like, you know, no, I'm not giving it back. And he just walks the earth for a while, and maybe that's where the Dark Ages came from, or, you know, I don't know. I just think there's a lot of cool ideas in there.
Playing a lot with some historical fiction.
Yeah, thanks.
So Ethan,
This
with your
got
character,
layers.
oh yeah,
Thank you, Dragon.
Dragon Gaming.
Let's see. Little Muskox Barbarian, absolutely. Any character that can make or turn anything into gold would break the economy. Where'd it go?
Depends.
I mean, money ain't based on gold anymore. So
True, and I mean not only that, but when you think about it, I mean our characters. Keep in mind they're on the run from their supposed creators, so that's actually the part that we have to take into consideration here. You know, I got this bird dude over here who's essentially like on the run from the fact that he is a like government agent of some kind. I mean, you can tell from the dog tag that I gave him there, and he's just currently just trying to survive. And if gold can get him like maybe a night or two at a motel, or maybe he can hide away, sure. You know, like why would, like in particular, we all of our characters are supposedly running away from something, right? We're all running away from either our creator or something like that. So Ethan, if your character was to be running away, what are they running away from, or what are they running away to? Like what's, you know, like something that we have to take into factor here, you know?
Yeah, you're right. Maybe I'm just gonna think that these creators are such hungry bastards to make this whole ratatouille abomination. They just he wants to make food for other mouths, and they just keep following and eating all his shit. He never gets to be on, you know, Hell's Kitchen or something because they just keep gouging on it. So that's gonna be the bit of the chase. He's around the world in 90 days, kitchen style, making sure that the mouths are kind of catching up.
yeah,
Maybe he lives in a world with other government experiments. Maybe he's just on the run because maybe he's the celebrity chef.
He's the
bunch of
culinary.
other failed culinary experiments.
Yeah. My MCU culinary style.
We've got a morbidly obese cat over here that just eats nothing but lasagna all day.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were going for, but it didn't come out
He
well.
hates Mondays is all I know.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, this is actually one of. Oh, sorry, hold on. What was that again, Ethan?
So that's the Thanos of my bad guy universe. The Garfield cat eating everything.
And I just also realized too, this is also probably one of the shortest episodes. I thought this was going a lot longer. We're cracking almost at an hour 30.
What's the normal length usually?
3 hours.
Usually we hit 2 hours.
Yeah.
But it's not uncommon to hit 3 when we just get to rattling and prattling.
Yeah, pretty much, because usually in most cases we'll start coming up with some crazy cracked out ideas, and next thing you know, we're already contemplating pitching the book idea to either Marvel, DC, Dark Horse, Image, or anyone who's willing to take it.
Yeah.
You know, like
a wazoo.
oh, for real. Oh man, this is a lot of fun. I would find a way. Honestly, I mean, given my situation, I could find a way to somehow fit this character into my Unbeatables universe. Just maybe have him as like a little one-off character that maybe like one of my characters will encounter. Maybe make him a villain for my character Grub. Who knows?
I'd like to see something come of that. That was funny to me.
The little Grub character.
Mhm.
All right,
Yeah.
hold on, I gotta show that for context because so for context, before I made the Unbeatables, I made this entire like, you know, in 2019 I got kicked out of college. It was a whole horrible experience, but while I was trying my best to kind of keep myself up and on the go, I came up with these 3 random characters. It was a superhero cop, it was this bug-based hero, and it was this alien chick. And those characters ended up becoming, you know, the basic beginning phases for what I ended up doing now for the Unbeatables. And this is one of the characters for it that I call Grub. He's like a Spider-Man-ish adjacent kind of character. Crawl on walls, dig holes deep into the ground. You know, I could totally see the picture being like
like grubby flair. Like, what's extra grubby for him to do?
Have some of his villains be like Mr. Clean, or maybe some higher end, officials just being like, "Oh, he's too dirty of a hero to be in our city. Be away from him."
I think grubs can survive from like heights, right? You drop him, he'll just bounce off.
I don't fully know, but I do know that grubs are essentially just caterpillars for beetles. Like how caterpillars can become butterflies, grubs can turn into beetles.
I think they got some buoyancy. I don't know the grub science. Any grubologists out
Any
there?
grub experts out there?
Yeah, exactly. Did you just say buoyancy?
Yeah,
buoyancy. Yeah.
Like the buoyancy of
I'm
eagles.
not a grubologist. I'm not a grubologist.
No, dude, no, it's fine. It was because we ended up doing one episode where we basically redesigned a public domain superhero character by the name of the American Eagle. We looked up the story for the character. Turns out that him and his science buddy, like the character himself, and then his science buddy, was studying the buoyancy of eagles. I had no idea what buoyancy meant.
I didn't know they apply to eagles, but
I have no idea what the buoyancy of an eagle was all about, but we ended up coming up with some cool characters. That was my take on it. There, I came up with the tech-based dude, and it wasn't a bad idea for a character. I mean, like the creation was a little stupid, but like it was an experiment gone wrong. And the scientist that he was working for, like when he goes to explain that like this chemical got splashed all over him that, would give him the buoyancy of an eagle. I don't know what that is. And it turns out that the scientist was a Nazi, and, they tried to kill him by chunking him off a cliff. But luckily, due to the buoyancy of an eagle, he survived. And survived.
I thought they threw the Nazi off. I was going to say, what's
the
buoyancy?
No. And then the Nazi went on, thinking that the dude was dead, and he makes a costume and comes and, takes him out.
So a lot of these like public domain superheroes are from like the 1940s, 1930s, and like beforehand. So obviously like up until World War II. So there's a lot of superhero characters that are currently up for grabs, and people can do whatever they want with them. And I can actually count on my hand the amount of superhero movies that were made using characters from the public domain. It is actually hysterical. But obviously, in this case, we wanted to, take some public domain characters and give our own renditions. And funnily enough, I was also mentioning the cougar character beforehand.
Yeah.
And this is actually said character that I have over here with the little thing. So Mr. Fish kind of made his rendition like this Hispanic Latino kid who basically, ends up getting eagle-based powers and now has to fight, the character that you see on his screen over there, which is like Medusa.
Which was another random set of powers we rolled up. Like we got transmute matter again. And as we were playing around with turning things into something, I came up with the idea of stone. And I was like, oh, Medusa. But she was tech-based. So I gave her these gloves that let her, turn whatever she touches to stone. But if you're a chick and you got that power and you're going to be a supervillain, you're going with the Medusa name. So, she dyes her braids.
The name is pretty solid.
Got a cool costume.
Stone, your buoyancy is like 0.
So. Exactly.
Dude,
and Eagles. I wanted to really make him like, hanging out over the ledge, taking off and get turned to stone. So you got the cool, fear of the drop and the fall. I spent more time drawing that background than I spent drawing those characters.
And also a fun key thing, we ended up also doing this on an episode of that Mr. Fish used to do called School of Fish. And we actually did an entire video talking about backgrounds and how you can make city backgrounds with nothing more than like pre-made brushes or pre-made buildings that you can more or less have. So if you ever need to make, a city, that's either in the modern day or sometime in, the past, you can just make a bunch of like the sides of a building and you just kind of smack them in together and just put them in through perspective. And then boom, you have a whole city. Because I've done that for my comic and that has been helping me out tremendously. So
I'm sure you're taking off so much time with that.
Oh yeah. And the thing is, I realized like I was drawing all my buildings looking essentially the same. Like they all had like a handful of styles. They all had a lot of the same traits. And so it was easier to just draw up one really nice hero image flat of all these different styles. And then I can make a bunch more styles of buildings than I tended to put in the background normally. And it's easier to reproduce it. And then it's easier to remember Next time when I have to redo that scene from another angle, okay, it was this pattern building on here, and then that pattern next to it, and that pattern across the street, and I can keep it consistent no matter which way we turn the camera. And it's
that's kind of what your mom wanted from you back in the day. We're coming back.
yeah, essentially. I just wasn't going to give it to her.
Yeah. Until now, yeah.
Just can't do it all at the same time.
And then also what we show off here, these are the cougar characters that we ended up doing. Little did we know that when we did animal-based powers, I was not expecting to draw cougar or, rolling up a cougar. And the cougar jokes never ended.
Yeah.
I tell you, episodes of Roll for Hero become some of the funniest things in the entire world.
I mean, dude, with the cougar theme, like the bobcats, jaguars, like it's comedy gold. I can only assume.
And then this was another one where like the modifier we got was the power comes from their suit. So like they ended up with tech suits. His is a lot more Iron Man. Mine's a lot more like Robotech. But I love the modifier, man. I love that throwing a monkey wrench in it and being like your powers only work at night, or they only work after saying
the day.
Or your power comes from your suit, or you're on the run from the mob.
Hot boys as cougars.
Obviously doing this entire show was a lot of fun. So for context, so this is actually the first character I've done, which is Psybeast, who's like had reality warping abilities. Oh yeah, and Mr. Fish's monster over here, that was insanity. Yeah, you want Last of Us vibes? That is Last of Us vibes.
Like enhance. What is going on here?
Okay,
everything and nothing all at the same time.
Give me a second. I'll stick it. There we go.
Damn, that's crazy.
It is all of the disease. We got a
all
kaiju-sized blob monster with like a hive mentality, and like disease or decay was the power. And so I went with like all of the poison and disease and decay wrapped up into one thing. So like all of the tumors and cancers and mushrooms and everything that causes death and destruction and decay wrapped up into one giant proto-organism that sees itself as death incarnate, because arrogance was its weakness. And so he sees himself as kind of like Thanos or Lady Death or something. Like he sees himself as like the ultimate destruction of all things, and it's beautiful, and and is here to consume and destroy. And yeah, he's just really gross.
Yes. It's a lot of fun.
A big disgusting concoction of diseases. That's crazy. I'm assuming Big Pharma's behind this one.
Oh yeah,
most likely, 100%. But also, what was it called? We got Oliver 1983 stating, what are some of the names? Like, what are the names of our characters that we have come up with thus far for today? And that is actually a very good question. What are some characters that we ended up coming up with? What are the names of these characters?
That's a good question, questioner.
Don't have an answer.
Okay. Let me think here. I don't know why for Mr. Fish's character. This might have been because, so Mr. Fish, remember when I came to you with that idea for the thing called the Batimals?
Yeah.
I had a character concept for it. One of the ideas that I had was a character called Borax. And for some reason, I know it's like a chemical. I know it's like something for like laundry or something like that. But for some reason, I can see your character being called Borax. Don't know why. It feels right. But that's just my opinion. Nobody asked for it.
Like Borax Thor or something.
Borax Thor. Right. Yeah.
Borax. I just wanted to call him Oxnard, and I didn't really know why. I just thought it was funny. Apparently, it's a city.
Yeah, it's away from here.
So it was Bane City. I didn't even know that.
And then I thought about flipping it to Darnock backwards, essentially. But then I have a character I want to name Darnock already existing. I have a demon character I want to introduce named. I have two demon brothers I want to introduce, Mutas and Darnock, because my buddy Conrad would always use the name Darnock as his D&D name because it was his name backwards. And we were reading, God, I don't remember what it was. It was the back of some album cover in the 90s. And he he couldn't. He was reading Mothers and read it Mutas, and so I've had these two characters in the back of my head since freaking like '94 that I've wanted to name Mutas and Darnock.
Wait,
So
we got Dadpool over here saying Borox.
Borox would work.
My wife.
Mala, have you seen her? She's in another dimension.
Yeah.
All right, Ethan, what about your character? I mean, what do you think you got going on over here?
Let's see. Maybe something like rodenton, rodent, something with Tron, something a little robotic. Because I kind of gave him like a metallic tail here.
Rotatron?
Rotatron. Rodentar.
Feel like it needs like a number in it, like spelling skate
Yeah.
with the number 8 in the middle. Like he's got that kind of vibe to me, you know.
Yeah, or like an ampersand. Like replace
Yeah,
the
like 80s
It would just be
extreme.
like if anything, just the
In
like
the 80s,
letter
they'd probably
R.
just call him Raton or something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or okay, wait. Funnily enough, there's actually a part of Florida known as Boca Raton, and that's just rat's mouth in Spanish.
Yeah. You know what? I'll piggyback up. Yeah, Raton.
Here we go.
Raton. But it's spelled like
There we go.
R and then the ampersands and then the and then TON at the end of it.
Yeah, it's almost like hieroglyphics. You don't even know what the name is. It's so just detached from normal English.
Mhm. Spelled in like crazy graffiti that you have to be able to decipher.
Yeah, you'll take a stab at it. Like,
He's the cybernetic being formerly known as.
So we got Ryan Yost stating rodent, like ROE and then DENT.
Rat. What's the equivalent number to N? 5? I'll just put a 5.
That's actually a good question.
Rats.
Looking on my own keyboard over here, I would say 4, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah,
All right, and then now my character. So I got a pigeon. Isn't there a part of the some? Okay, hold on.
Pigeon Forge.
That's what I was actually just thinking.
Pigeon Forge. Dang, someone knows their Tennessee.
I was thinking like Pigeon Bob, but I think that is a character somewhere. That sounds real.
Wait, Pigeon Forge. Isn't that? Wait, that is Tennessee, right? Pigeon Forge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's near Gatlinburg.
Yeah, no, honestly, that kind of works. Honestly, I would honestly just stick with that.
Pigeon Forge. I want to throw
Because like
Grid
he's
Forge.
forging his own type of weapons, using his own feathers, using his abilities, and forging solutions and stuff. We can go off
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
Wait, that
Better
make it work.
Alchemy Bird.
Alchemy bird. Interesting.
I like it.
So
Pigeon
now,
Forge.
so we have so hold on. So to officialize it, we have Rotan or Raton, right? Raton, and then we have Pigeon Forge, and we have.
I'm guessing Borox for now until I come up with something better. That's as good
It's
as
true.
it
I mean, we'll have to do it on a Roll for Hero recap right there. That's a Roll for Hero recap video for later. Oh man, this was just a lot of fun. I just love again. This is also the fun of it because we got to roll up the same exact situations, but I just love how we add completely different renditions.
Oh yeah,
So,
like my dude looks like he could be straight out of He-Man, and you
Oh,
know,
100%.
yours looks like a really bad episode of GI Joe or something. Like they really started running low on ideas for new Joes, and did the pigeon
It's a
dude.
Cobra experiment gone wild.
Yeah,
Jojen.
and then Ethan's like straight up looks like it's out of the Ninja Turtles. Like I totally expect him to become busting like, oh dude, what are you doing with the tomatoes, man?
Yeah.
And then
it's
turns out Michelangelo befriends him.
You said what?
Like how like by the end of the episode, Michelangelo ends up befriending him, and like they end up becoming good buddies. And he's like, "Here, dude, here's like a totally awesome pizza that I managed to make just for you."
Yeah.
And it's like
He
it's
becomes the
either like the
personal
world's
chef.
greatest pizza, or like it'll try to kill him. Who knows?
No, yeah, he becomes like the personal chef for pizzas. Zod day and night. Like, we got it.
Dude,
Oh, that
all
would
right,
be
man. I'm
awesome.
thinking hot fudge and anchovies, and yeah, absolutely.
My
That'd be
makers
really-
never let me make the dough like this.
Oh, this is awesome. So, Ethan, what do you think as of this entire Roll for Hero thing? Like, what
I
was
think it's a lot of fun. I was a little scared at first when the dice just kept on rolling, and I'm like, how am I gonna?
Oh man, that was a lot of stuff to cram into one pot.
Yeah.
Usually, like we'll get like one or two or three, but that was a high roll. But
I think luckily things like immortality, like how do you really convey that in one
Yeah.
drawing? So it's kind of it's a bit of a wash, but I think
well,
yeah,
I
that
mean,
would
and
actually
then it
lead on
depends
to
on
going into more
what you
future
do with
stuff.
it. Like I like the idea of like, what if your immortality is not that you can't die, but that you do, and you just keep getting back up again over and over again, and like instead of like the Wolverine where like you get tore up but you survive, but like you just like get murdered and then like have to slowly come back together, and like that could be really brutal.
Like
Or
the
you
actual
don't,
length
you
and
live forever,
duration
you
of what
don't
it really
what
takes to
happens then.
heal from that. Ooh,
Oh.
that would be gnarly.
So many different ways to go.
This was also a character with a lot of powers too.
Let's
You're not
see.
wrong. It's basically just another member of the Birds of a Feather because we got American Eagle, we then have Goth Bird, Jock Bird, and now we have Pigeon Forge.
Pigeon Forge, Jock Bird. Let's go.
Now, here's Jock Bird right here. This is the character that I was referencing. You think, wait, how is this a jock? You should see what Mr. Fish ended up doing for his character.
I see. Where is she?
Keep the rat character away from Mr.
There it
Fish's.
is. There's her adopted sister.
Wow, a couple of 1-2 cuties over here.
Yeah, except the Goth is more on. We did a fun subversion of it. So like you think that the jock would be on the more muscular side, but no, the jock in this case is like petite and smaller, and is a bowling kind of a nerd. And then you got the jock over here who happens to be taller and is like full blown like built like a tank, muscle bound.
Big beefy goth chick.
Who's this owl heroine that you have that apparently my character can't get in cahoots with?
Oh, it's exactly this character. It's exactly this character.
Oh,
right
this
here.
character. Oh, because I mean, who's this Benjamin Raton over here? He got some riz, so I don't know. Like,
who knows?
You might be doing something.
Who knows, man?
And then like we also rolled up with these sisters. We got the your powers only work at day or night, and so what we came up with was like his character's powers are way stronger during the day and mine are way stronger at night. And part of that is she transforms more and more, looking more bird-like at night, can't hide amongst the humans as well as she can during the day. But, so it came out pretty cool. It came out cool.
And then for me, I have energy projection and size change. So when the daylight comes in, I can probably change the amount of energy that would then be projected. And because my character is a bowling jock, her energy attacks and her energy projections would look like an actual bowling ball that she would like roll at the enemies.
Oh, nice. That's
so that was like
Big Lebowski type power right there.
Exactly. So again, and again, I never would have expected to draw characters of this kind of caliber, and that's what I love about this show. Again, I'll always repeat it over and over and over again. I sound like a broken record. I love it because it really breaks our like perception of how we're trying to create characters. Again, you probably weren't expecting to draw a rat man that can manipulate and change matter into, food in this case. I wasn't expecting to draw, a pigeon man who could make his feathers into weapons, or the steampunk aliens, or from the cyberpunk stuff to an Aztec luchador who uses, elemental abilities and whatnot. And you think I'm joking about that, but that was actually the first episode of this entire thing.
Yeah, honestly, I can imagine just anything's being thrown out the wall, and then you guys just run with it.
And the fact that like these ideas can also straight up become again, this is either me sounding crazy, but like these ideas that we roll up here could potentially always be like the next upcoming franchise if written and executed correctly. Again, love the dopamine high. I would love to at some point see how you would try to take this rat character of yours and try to make some small little one shot or something of that kind of caliber. I think that'd be a lot of fun to see how you would take that character and put them in a weird situation, or maybe roll up another character that would combat against them or befriend them or something of that nature.
Yeah, that's true. I need to start thinking, honestly. You guys have like a whole pitch deck ready to go for your stuff. I need to beef it up a bit.
I mean, who knows? If you ever want to join again on Roll for Hero, don't be afraid to let me know. But I mean, hey, I ain't gonna do that to you because you got things to work on, like your fantasy comedy comic, which the title for it was, the concept alone is actually fantastic. I love that a lot too. Was it like called Side Quest Galore? Was it?
Yes, that's right. Side quests galore. I pitch it kind of it's a 72-page comic. I'm coloring it now. I pitch it as like Rick and Morty meets Legend of Zelda. So it's got some of that dark comedy to it with some of that fantasy whimsy and charm that I grew up playing Zelda with. So it's been a lot of fun. The script, I'm really proud of the script. So it's been really fun to visualize it, drawing it, and I just can't wait to get it out. I feel like I've been working on it for over a year, which I probably have. So now the flagging.
I just printed out a proof copy of my new issue of Alice 3. I just finished the colors the other night. I printed up a proof copy to look at last night just to flip through and see if I needed to make any adjustments on anything, make sure all the secret little codes could scan correctly if you find them and all that stuff. And flipping through the book and actually reading it, like actually after this point, like a lot of the words quit being words to me. Like I've been working on it for so long. You kind of get in the zone and it quits being what it is, and you're just working on this piece. Like I'm coloring all of the hair, and then I'm coloring all the legs and whatever. And
Like
getting to actually sit down and look at it and flip through it and read the book, like it's really good. And I'm really proud of it. T.S. Luther killed it on the freaking script, and it really inspired me to add different things and take it in some new places and do some cool stuff with it. And it just really came out beautifully. I'm really happy with it. But it's cool.
Yeah, I think it's awesome that you can like read the work in progress or reread it just to like remotivate yourself, and that inspiration actually clicks back from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did this, and now I'm hyped to get to the next thing now too.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot of fun too. I mean, same situation with me in the Unbeatables. I mean, I had no idea. For me, funny little story about how I actually even got to making that thing. I was working because I still work at this gas station and whatnot. And one day it just kind of hit me. I'm just like, I told myself I was going to be a comic book artist. Why am I not doing this? What the heck? And literally, I just went gung-ho, made everything up on the spot. Like, and you can clearly tell. If you read issues number 1 and 2, I was making everything up on the spot.
I was looking through it, and then I saw that you like rebooted it. So I was like, oh, I'll stop reading the second part because I see that.
Oh, no, you should have kept reading the second part because, I mean, that character does make a comeback, especially,
Oh, it does? Okay. I wanted to jump right to the reboot. I was like, all right.
Listen, you gotta enjoy it for what it's worth. It's kind of like getting to know all the fun stuff beforehand. Then you're like, wait, how's he gonna incorporate some of these things? But it's a lot of fun getting to kind of see where I went from this, and then getting to be where I'm at now. Thankfully, posting the pages out, 3 times a week, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Just letting people out there know that you can read the Unbeatables on Webtoons right now. Will I ever take some of these characters from Roll for Hero and shove them in somewhere in the background, or have them as a potential character that they'll interact with? Who knows? Follow Webtoons.
Yeah, throw Pigeon Forge in there. Get his ass kicked by the turtle one. Or no.
Emerald Turtle.
Yeah. Man, if I had an extra like hour or 2 a day, I would straight up sit down and start doing some little like Ashcan comics with these characters in it, do some little black and white guys, and that we could just knock out and have fun with some of these ideas. But man, I got so many projects I've got to get done.
That was exactly what I kind of want to do with Grub over here. I actually wanted to make him like an ash can, to where like I could just classic Marvel style, just put a wall of text with some pictures thrown into it and then just call it a day. Because I remembered watching that video, and I sent it to actually you and Ethan, of the topic of like pacing. Because nowadays comics are always trying to be more cinematic in appearance, when back then there was just a lot more text. So
it was more, here's a shot, here's the prose that explains what's going on, here's a shot, here's the explanation of how we got here and what's happening. Yeah.
And honestly, I think I might want to do that if I ever have that chance. Well, I mean, I probably do because since I kind of post, one page every other day. So, I mean, who knows? I could probably potentially do that. But I would love to do something with Grub, Super Cop and Starlight. Those are the 3 characters that I came up with originally for this idea. But other than that, though, I think this is more or less a good time because we're just rambling and just yapping on a whole different, set of topics and situations here. So, Ethan, I mean, do you think this is a good time to more or less end our whole session here?
Yeah, I'm good. I feel
I
very
just want to
fulfilled.
make sure because I don't know if we want to keep yapping about something else. But Ethan, where can we find you? What social media platforms? Where could we find you?
Yeah, so I'm Crown Obsidian on like pretty much every platform: TikTok, Facebook. Don't go on my Facebook; I haven't been there in forever. Twitter, that needs more love. Instagram, and then I sell my comic books on my actual website, which is crownobsidian.com. You can get Blood in the Land, Last of Us inspired, Frozen apocalyptic 180-page graphic novel, digital or physical. And then I got some free comics on there too, in case you want to see some of my other storytelling skills and stuff before, throwing 5 or whatever on this bad boy over here. But yeah, and I'm on YouTube a lot. I've been recording a bunch of batch videos, so I'm hoping to get a bunch of videos out soon within the next month or so. So stay tuned for that. Just try to make something fun and entertaining and bring something fresh to the indie comics niche out here in social media land.
Good deal.
And of course, on my end, you can guys find me on TikTok at Ultra Comics, which I believe that might be the links to that is probably in the description. Same thing with my Instagram, even though I barely on that half the time. Of course, you can find me here on YouTube at Esteban Carrero. That is going to be the primary name that you can find me at. And I mean, that's more or less about it. I try to stick to like only 2 platforms. I know we should branch out, but I suck at the internet stuff. I just know how to make videos and sound funny sometimes.
And I am Mr. Fish Comics everywhere on social media. Occasionally there's a dot or an underscore or something between the Mr. Fish and comics, but it just depends. But it's Mr. Fish Comics. You look for me, you'll find me. MrFishComics.com. You can pick up all my books. And GoMrFish.com will take you to what I'm working on right now, which late pledges for Alice issue 3 are still open on the Kickstarter. If you want to get in, I'm still getting a few every so often on there. Until I ship out the campaign, late pledges will stay open and then they'll close. So you can go there and still get a copy of that if you want to. Otherwise, we're good to go.
Of course, for everyone out there, if y'all want to show off your awesome characters that you more or less drew within this session, make sure to utilize the hashtag Roll4Hero. That's going to be the letters ROLL, the number 4, and HERO. Use that hashtag on any social media platform, and we'll do everything we can to snag up those images and show them off here onto the stream, because we obviously love to see the amazing art that we hopefully were able to inspire some of y'all out there to make, because I love seeing art of that kind of caliber, getting to see the cogs and the gears turning, creating some amazing cracked out images. And I just love the way that all goes down. But other than that, we're going to more or less end our entire session here. So to my fellow weirdos and nieces and nephews and everyone else in between out there, make sure to follow these 3 simple rules. Make sure to stay awesome, make sure to stay weird, and to keep life to the easiest. Always remember that art inspires all, but you can inspire more. And always remember, your uncles love you.
Roll for hero.
And even if you were to have like a prompt of 10 different things, right? Like say if you had one prompt of like, oh, like here's 10 different personality traits, here's 10 different superpowers, here's 10 different drawbacks.
I like coming up with random list of powers and then just see what I come up with.
Imagine rolling just those things every single time. It's always going to vary. The possibility of that happening is, again, like a 1 in 10 chance, but it's like, it shows that there's
always something else cool right around the corner that we can come up with, because there's no end to the problem.